All right, it's the football show brought to you by KG Law. We have it's whiz bang pow. There's things happening everywhere. Welcome in. We appreciate it. If you're trickling in from the Lions game, we are a Detroit-based show. We appreciate you. I know many people are going to flood in as the game ends. Jim, first of all, how are you? You all right, man?
Yeah, I'm okay. I feel like my hair's a little mess. I'm all kind of frazzled. We're trying to keep track of everything. Give people the best show we can.
Yeah, games in action. We'll track those down. Saints just beat Carolina, something you and I had, which is, that's always a nice thing. But we'll keep you up to date on those. We'll start with our big things brought to you by KG Law. Jim, do you want to start with, why don't we go Pats Bills?
Yeah.
I want to reorganize these a little bit. Teacher versus the pupil. And for a day, the teacher still got it. This is my fear with the Pats. We talked about this. It's like 2018 Titans with Vrabel. I think they can get only so far. Maybe AFC title game. But they're not ready yet. With the Bills, you have the guy. This is LeBron. This is Curry. This is McDavid. This is Scooble. You have that dude. He can break the best defense. He can just end you.
And urgency, right? Like, you're not expecting a Lamar. We know there won't be a Mahomes. Like, hey, man, this is your moment. Bright lights are on. And they're down 21-0 today in Foxborough, a team that's already beat them. Patriots are playing to clinch a division, playing for one seed, home field throughout. And before the Bills can be pronounced dead, you're right. Josh Allen puts them on his back. They go score, score, score. Was it 28 points in the second half?
Yeah.
Buffalo comes roaring back. You're right. I mean, this is still his golden opportunity to win a Super Bowl. As flawed as Buffalo is, they gave up 250 yards on the ground. He found a way to win him the game, and there is no other Titan quarterback, superstar elite quarterback staring him down in the playoffs. Drake May's not that guy yet.
No. And by the way, people, I don't want you to think in any way I'm dismissive of Jim. I'm trying to watch something, do content. Watch content.
The same thing. As soon as you start talking, I'm looking over here.
Jimmy, you know what we're going to do? We're going to have like limo tint. And then the partition goes up, so you get to do what you got to do. And then we welcome you back in. No, to your point, though, there were so many plays in that game where you go, there's nothing there.
Yep.
And Allen makes something. Look, there is no Chiefs. I mean, Lamar looks broken. You're right. Maybe we've written them off, but I still cannot get by that defense.
It's not good.
It's bothersome. But yeah, Bills needed that badly. And for a week, Patriots have to wait to clinch the division. I know it's emotional for you, but see you later, as you wrote it in the notes. That's very punny. I see what you did there. Chiefs are done. I was really surprised. They jumped out to a nice lead. Thought, okay, ice cold, LA, you know the drill. It didn't happen. They couldn't put him away. Mahomes' left knee was a disaster.
And by the way, Juicy confirmed Schefter torn ACL.
Yeah, I was just about to say non-contact. It was contact, but then it was like an outside tweak, and you go, I guarantee that ain't no good. Look, where do you want to go with it? Because they're not going to make the playoffs. I don't think that's a crime. You asked me a question in the notes. Why? Why did this all happen? I had something that's not quantifiable, I don't think, but they've played 21 extra playoff games over a 5-year period.
Damn.
They've played over a season extra in a 5-year span. Jim, I think they're tired. And I think Father Time is undefeated. You've seen it with Kelsey. You've seen it with Chris Jones at times. That's my biggest explanation. If you wanted football, they don't have pass rush. They just don't have a pass rush. And no matter what Spags designs, they're not getting there. Do you accept either of those, both of those?
The first one more than the second one. The first one's a real thing. The second one, Spags has been able to create pressure. The defense, to me, is not an issue. It's not the biggest problem. Mike, you said they had some game control today. What's the best way for you to grind out ugly wins and win one-score games where they were so good a year ago and have been so bad this year? I think now 1-7 in one-score games.
Yeah.
You got to have a run game. It starts with an offensive line that's deteriorated at the tackle positions, but also you lose Joe Tooney, who had played guard even before they moved him to tackle. They have to protect Mahomes. They have to have a run game, some semblance of a run game. That's project one for the offseason because they've got some players on the outside. But if they don't win up front, if they can't run the ball and protect their quarterback, even Mahomes, we saw this year, isn't going to get it done.
I think one thing they need, though, and I know this isn't how Andy Reid has run it, is the absence of Kelsey as the alpha of that offense. I don't think it's going to work with the speedy little guys, the Rashee Rice, these Worthy. They need a number one wide receiver. They need someone Mahomes can throw the 50-50 to. Because, again, for so long they leaned on Kelsey in the critical spots. They don't have that guy.
It's a styles makes fights, right? They don't have, and I don't know if it has to be a number one receiver, a tight end, a pass catching running back, a possession receiver, a little more the intermediate. They need something to help move the sticks and keep converting.
Yes.
So I agree with you.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, the next one, I think you're being provocative, and therefore you're going to intro this. I do not accept this, and I'm not going to tolerate this level of seduction. The answer is no. Before you even open your mouth, the answer is no to this.
So this was me putting the little tiny toe into the pool of this take.
Yeah.
5 touchdowns passing, a 6th with the rushing. Trevor Lawrence quietly is the emphasis here. Trevor Lawrence has put together 3 really good performances back to back to back. Is he saving his career was my question to you, which then you shot down thunderously.
Okay, first things first. He's only had 6 games this season without an interception.
Including the last 3.
I understand. But Jim, I watch a lot of these Jacksonville games. I still think in a lot of ways they win in spite of the guy. He's still shaky at times. He'll still do some dumb you-know-what. My answer is no. I think Liam Cohen is doing the best he can. But here's the reality in all of this, okay? The reality is they're stuck together. The money makes them, they're in an arranged marriage. So whether he's playing good or bad, there's really no out. So if you want to say he's providing a floor, if you want to say that he is somehow stopping the bleeding, fine. I think what we would need to do, this is what we always need to do. And I'm certainly not the best at it, okay? I'm emotional about sports. I have fun with it. I like to have opinions. We need to reestablish, okay, well, he's no longer viewed as a generational quarterback. He is no longer going to be the number one quarterback in football. He'll never be a top 5 quarterback. Can Trevor Lawrence settle into the Jared Goff division, the Sam Darnold division?
Mike, they're going to win 12 games this year. Certainly feels like it.
And I can't
a lot of that is their defenses forced turnovers. They're probably punching above their weight class, softer schedule after a bad year where they had the number 2 pick, right? Or moved up to get the number 2 pick, but it wasn't a good year last season. Yeah. All that's true. With Lawrence, though, you're going to set yourself up. They traded for Jacoby Myers, 5-1 since that move. Brian Thomas is starting to get healthy. We've dumped on him, and I don't truly believe Lawrence has saved his career, but I almost think we need to swing back a little more the other way,
how about this?
With a performance today.
Here's the litmus test. And I know it's not all about him. It's a team game, but the quarterback is the guy. Win a playoff game.
Sure.
Win a playoff game.
Could be a home playoff game.
Which is insane to think about, but so be it. And by the way, I know I said this Friday on my afternoon show. Think about if you're the Bucs. You watch Dave Canales walk out that door, and he's done a credible job in Carolina, especially with the pocket-sized game manager that is Bryce Young. Then you let Liam Cohen walk out the door. And, okay, let's take what you're saying as a level of truth. Also, you could stick with pumpkin in a turtleneck, Todd Bowles. That's got to just, I mean, what are there, 8 Bucs fans on the planet? But that would drive me insane.
Yep.
All right. So I want to shout out old guys. Now, I know you don't appreciate this, okay? But Phillip Rivers is my age. And he damn near executed the greatest old guy performance ever. And by that, I mean lull opponent to sleep, run 1 play per roughly 7 minutes. Like the Colts were taking 5 minutes to run 6 plays. They get to half, up 13-6. Somehow Seattle, who had the ball for like 3 minutes, had 71 total yards. I'm going, oh my God, Phil Rivers is going to get up off the couch at my age and go win an NFL game. And damn near did it as Seattle kicked a field goal to cripple old guy dreams. Oh my God. I was like, no way did Phillip Rivers just lose a game on 6 field goals.
I think he threw for like 100 yards.
But they were glorious yards.
And he threw a touchdown, which is great. He's given a fist pump, and he is a very...
hear the cartilage cracking with every throw. You could hear the AC joint crying in agony.
Mike, watching him move, air quotes, in the pocket. A very plump Phillip Rivers.
It was graceful. I think the kids call it thick. He just, listen, man, I wanted that one for the old people.
He looked like your uncle at your Thanksgiving party, going out in the backyard and just kind of pitter patter and just throw it like shot putting it as far as he could.
That cartilage was like popcorn at your local cinema. But here's my question. I know this sounds stupid, but we always talk about this. They're men, they're not machines. There's no way Seattle didn't just think, we're going to fucking destroy this guy.
And flip side.
There's no way. And that's the byproduct. Look at that performance by Seattle. That's a disgrace.
Flip side, a little Ewing theory. Like the Colts defense knows, like, hey, we can't give up a single touchdown or we're dead. So know they're going to come out and play their best.
No, and that's the thing that killed me with Seattle is just here. Put 11 guys against the run. Where's Phil going? What's Phil doing? It was such a bizarro. It's almost like the whole franchise said, all right, look, there ain't no way Rip Van Winkle over here is going to beat us. There's just no way. And you could see it in the gameplay. And then halftime, where JSN didn't have a catch, they didn't have anything going on offense. They got it going. But, man, red zone, big problems. You should not need – this goes without saying. You should not need a field goal to beat that team. That's preposterous.
Nope.
All right, let's go Broncos and Pack. And look, the game isn't over yet. But I'll tell you one thing that is over is Green Bay's Super Bowl chances. If Micah Parsons' injury is what we think it is, non-contact, grabbing of knee. Now, currently, they're down 34-26. Jordan Love has the ball. Here's what I want to do. Talk about this briefly with Parsons. And then I need you to go on a murder mystery. Where the hell did this Bo Nix come from? Did he don an Oregon Ducks jersey against UW? Like, what? 4 touchdowns. He's been perfection. This is a guy who's been missing reads for 2 months. Jim, I'm stunned. And once Parsons went out, no answers. They couldn't get a stop. But go ahead. Talk about Parsons first. Am I overstating it?
Even with Parsons in the game, Bo Nix was humming. It was a little bit of a throwback to his rookie year. Remember, he came out guns blazing with huge throws. First-year rookie with Sean Payton's offense. This year, the sophomore slump, it's been rocky. But here he is out-dueling your guy, Jordan Love.
I know. Look, Love had a wonderful first half. Threw a bad pick in the second half, didn't like it. And ultimately, look, you put 26 up on Denver, you should win. I don't want to make it about Jordan Love and you beating him with a baseball bat. But the Bo Nix thing, look, if Bo Nix is going to give you this type of performance, it changes the whole viewpoint of what this team might be, could be, can be. Because I know I've slandered them. I just view them as a team that they win all these close games because they lost them all last year. They're very limited offensively. And Sean Payton at times been very frustrated with Bo Nix. The defense, you know what you're going to get. Disruption, sacks, pass rush. Jim, if this is Bo Nix, then that would be a different thing. But
one thing at a time. You're right. Let's focus on the winners. Denver's going to win here. Let's focus on them. They've won 11 in a row. They're the 1 seed in the AFC. They've got the most pressure and sacks of any defense. And if the quarterback's light is turning on, that's a team that can go to a Super Bowl.
And look, here's the other thing. Again, I'll raise my hand. Guilty. Right here. Me. Guilty. He's only in his second year. And I know I use his age against him. It's like, dude, you're 34. You got a mortgage and 2 kids. I don't want to hear about needing to grow or time. But it's the truth. It's the NFL. And development is not linear. We saw C.J. Stroud go from year 1 excellence to year 2 awful. How many stories like that? Jaden Daniels, injury or not, this year's been a disaster. So I don't know, man. Maybe
I'll go back to it. Like if I'm Buffalo, we beat the brakes off that Denver team in the playoffs last year. It wasn't close.
Yeah.
If I'm Josh Allen, I got to beat second-year Bo Nix, Drake May, who's never been in the postseason. I don't have Mahomes. I'm probably not facing Lamar. Like, as good as Denver is, and I just said I think they could win the Super Bowl if Bo Nix is playing like this. This is kind of the anomaly this year, and it's as golden an opportunity for Buffalo. Now, on Green Bay, real quick.
Yeah,
Jordan
please.
Love, first drive of the second half, they get a 40-yard run from Jacobs. From that moment on, he throws 0 touchdowns, 2 picks. They had some drives that were 1 yard, turnover on downs. Like, I'm sorry. Like, he's good, not great. This is who Jordan Love is down the stretch and in playoff.
You know what's funny? We just updated this. So I had a December stat. If they won this game, and it doesn't take away, you're right. He needs to be better in the second half. From week 11 on in his career, including today's stats, 38 touchdowns, 6 picks. and what was a 19-2 record. It just, again, I will stand on this. If you score 26 on the road, that has to be good enough. Now, in an event your defense is not going to show up, and let's just call it what it is. Your defense didn't show up.
And you don't have Parsons moving forward.
Right. You're right, is that if we're going to talk about Love as a top 5 guy, then you got to do top 5 things, which would be what Josh Allen did today, right? Yeah. He's not that, and I'm fine saying that. I just know you'd rather have Max Brosmer than him, and I take personal offense to that.
Love not top 10. That's where I would sit today.
Oh, wow. Come on. How about 7 or 8?
How about like 14?
Okay. You know what? We're done. Up next, Jim would rather have Davis Webb. All right. We're going to work from the sponsors. If people are just funneling in here from the Lions game, we're going to get to Lions talk in about 10 minutes, digesting that. That was like a Big 12 football game. But, Evan, give them a word from the sponsors. We'll hit the rundown of the rest of the action.
All right, tell you about KG Law. Someone you care about's injured in a car accident, you need KG Law. Lawrence KG and KG Law specialize in car accidents. You're going to get that personal attention to detail from someone who cares about you. Let me tell you about Lawrence KG. He's a Detroiter. He's a down-to-earth dude, and he's someone you want in your corner. He built his business doing things the right way and delivering for his clients. KG Law's won millions of dollars, 98% success rate. Check him out, 877-KG-CARES. It's right there on the screen, KAJY, KGCares.com.
Okay, rundown brought to you by Hungry Howies. And if you're a Lions fan, that is quality emotional support food if interested. Commanders 29, Giants 21, and you have the best way of looking at this. You're too funny with this. So just say what you put in there, which I don't know if that was meant to be a joke for me or reality. Just say it.
I said I'm happy you're happy.
And?
Fighting hard and losing is the best case for the Giants.
Losing with class, losing with dignity.
Effort.
Yeah, hey, look, the Giants had the top pick. I'm sorry. Winning again. Here's the question I want to ask you. Just because there's nothing to talk about. Neither of these teams are dog shit. You're Mr. Analytics. Analytics is used on the field, right?
Yeah.
So why don't we use analytics off the field? Example, we've just been awarded the number 1 pick. Analytically speaking, winning is bad. Winning is harmful. So don't win.
Yeah, but you can't convince, and you know this, you can't convince players who are playing for their next paycheck, their next meal, to go out and lay down.
No, I just don't play them.
So, okay, but you can't sit everybody. You can only sit like 4 or 5 guys, realistically.
Pick the right 4 or 5. I'm just making a
point.
point.
Play your young quarterback, and he's going to go in there reckless abandon and try to win the game.
But there's my point. See, I don't think any of this is helping Jackson Dart. I think Jackson Dart has shown you he can play in this league, but with no Malik Neighbors, no Cam Scatabo, like there's no point. You're out here with guys who will not be here next year. Don't talk to me about he's developing a relationship. Relationship with who? They're starting
he's getting live bullets.
Wide receiver.
Hold on. He's getting live bullets. He's seeing coverages. He's dealing with adversity and 3rd and long and all this stuff that's good for him.
And my light just went out. It happened again. It's the second time this damn
season. Put in a new light bulb.
It's not that. It's a light. God bless it. Whatever.
I'm Edison house. You got 1 light bulb, but it's sitting
I'm turning the lights up. I don't care. All right, I'll do it like this. Who the hell cares about my stupid Italian face? All right, so listen, here's the deal. I'm going to broadcast from Poltergeist, and Jim's going to look beautiful. Jim, I'm just making a point to you. I've seen what I need to see. The kid's real. But yeah, don't win. Stop doing that. No more winning. Bears 31, Browns 3. Business. I mean, like you talk about it. This is what good teams do against bad teams. Be professional. Don't be an asshole. Go and they didn't survive the Browns. They killed them. Caleb was excellent. The running game was excellent. DeAndre Swift looked fantastic today, like rookie year Lions level. And Shedeur, yeah, you do what you want. I don't understand why people want to make him something he's not. He is not a starting quarterback in this league. Full stop.
Yeah, I don't want to do the like angry vitriolic.
No.
Like it is what it is. He's a day 3 pick. He's not an NFL starting quarterback, and he didn't look like one today. Sacked 5 times, 3 picks. His first one was the worst one, but 3 picks terrible. I got nothing. I'm not going to pile on. Shedeur's not very good.
No, there's no need for like piss and vinegar. It's just, dude, and again, you complete a couple of balls to Isaiah Bond that alter what the reality of the game is, where you're barely 50%. You're turning it over. And look, Jalen Johnson, a really nice interception down the goal line, but you threw the ball where it was gettable. It wasn't high and down the field or outside. You threw it to the inside. Those are the ball placement issues that I know that sounds ridiculous to people listening. That's how the game's played at the NFL level. It's like pitching. You know, if you miss a pitch by 3 inches, it's going to go 440 feet that way instead of into the catcher's glove. It's the same principle. He's never had that level of placement. He takes forever to deliver the ball, and it's going to get you at the NFL level.
All right, this is already too much talk on the Browns. You had a great note on the Bears.
Oh, yes. Just it's my problem is they're living on turnovers. So that's not a playoff problem. It's a Super Bowl problem, meaning there's a hard ceiling on what you can be. Jim, I think they forced 32 turnovers this year. You know, when you need to force 2 to win games, it's not going to happen against the real teams in this league. So I respect what Ben Johnson's doing. I don't think anyone wants to line up and play these guys, but I just don't think they're going to go anywhere their first go around the playoffs because you're not going to be +3 in the turnover category.
Yeah, look, I would say if you're a Lions fan waiting for a Bears collapse, might have to keep waiting. Their turnovers are a huge factor, though, right? 2 per game at least. I think it's more than 2 per game. But then they find ways to close a lot of games. Didn't have to find a way to close this one because they blew them out. But you're right, Mike. That's going to get them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
When you face the cream of the crop, are you going +2 and +3 some of these weeks in the turnovers? Probably not back-to-back weeks.
No.
Also, people just joining from the Lions game. No, I'm not broadcasting from a cave. My lights blew out, so we'll figure it out. Jim looks beautiful though. Stare at him. Don't look away. Don't look at me. I'm Medusa. Ravens 24, Bengals nothing. I got a whole bunch. Yeah. Well, guess what? Joe Burrow turned to stone today. I don't know what the fuck that was. Here's what I feel about this. My note was headed nowhere fast. This is a real stat line. Lamar Jackson, 8 for 12, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Nothing really meaningful on the ground. It's a 7-7 team. And Joe Burrow's quote after the game pretty much just says it all. Quote, "There's no team in the NFL who would have won today with me at starting quarterback." Close quote. What a weird week for him. The press conference into that comment. What do you make of this? Is it something or nothing?
He was also asked if he believes in the front office, and he said yes after the game. I mean, I don't know what else he's supposed to say.
What do you want him to say? Nah, they're a collection of assholes.
I know.
What are you supposed to say?
But, like, was he not giving off some weird Andrew Luck vibes earlier in the week?
Okay. I heard this earlier. I was doing a few things around the house, and I had one of these godforsaken pregame shows on. I forget what it was. Like, at the same point in their career, they've kind of missed the same amount of games, and the next thing that happened was Luck retired. Boy, that would be stunning. But again, the Bengals take the joy out of you. You want an example of what a horseshit organization is? Let me give you this note. So the Bengals today, there was a ton of snow in Cincy. It's 8 degrees. So let's say you're one of the hardy. You've bought season tickets, or what do they call them now? A membership. And you show up to the stadium, and you're right down on the river overlooking Covington, Kentucky. And you arrive to your seat to find it hasn't been cleared off. The Bengals didn't do snow removal, which violates the league's policy. Like, you have a basic bare minimum to your customer base. If it snows, remove the snow. They didn't. Do you know why? Because the fine for snow removal isn't as expensive as removing the snow. What is the Bengals' MO? What have I always said about them? They are the cheapest piece of shit franchise on the planet. Free Burrow. We must start the merchandise. Free Joe. This is not right.
I mean, it's outrageous. Like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Like, yeah, you could save a penny and piss off everybody who's a fan of your team. Is that really worth it? Save a few $1,000?
It's even in the deal they cut with Kent County, which is one of the poorest counties in the state of Ohio, where the county's got to pay for the maintenance and the landscaping and all the bullshit at the stadium the team doesn't even pay for. It's a joke. They're a joke. They shouldn't exist if they're going to behave this way. Free Joe. Let's go to Texans cards. We'll move it on. I'm just going to say this is the Bears 2.0 as far as what went down. Business. Cardinals had no ability to beat you. You didn't let them beat you. You took them out early. You jumped them 17-0. Stroud was effective. Still don't love this team in the red zone. Settled for a few field goals. I understand it looks gnarly where you're like, dude, they gave up 12 for 134 to McBride. Yeah, that basically no one else did anything.
Yeah.
And you're up big. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's empty calories. I am filing the Texans in the entire playoff picture, NFC, AFC. The singular team, absolutely no one wants to see wildcard weekend. No, you do not want to face that defense. Absolute nightmare fuel. I'm begging for Jacksonville, Houston first round so I can bet Houston on the road in Jacksonville. I'm begging you.
I would love that.
I'm begging you. We'll be riding a tandem bike to Duval. I'm begging you.
Yeah, look, they've won 9 of their last 11 games. They didn't start hot, but they're as hot as any team in football. Like, I view them, Spider-Man meme, Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
Elite front, pressure the quarterback. If your QB can get to one more gear, Stroud had 3 touchdowns today for just the second time this season, but the talent's there. If they can get one more notch from the quarterback, it unlocks a path to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And again, you had it in the notes. They were 31st in the league red zone going into today. They did nothing to help themselves. And some of the play calls, way too cutesy. Eagles, Raiders, a football game was played. I quit. I mean, I had the Raiders last week. I win. I was stupid enough to go back and go, I got to take the 12.5 points. But I mean, how could the Raiders, how can you be this bad? 75 total yards in a football game? 75 total yards. What are you going to do against Houston next week? Go minus 38? I mean, it's a disgrace.
Mike, you lose a game by 5 scores.
Oh.
Do you think you'd throw for like 100 passing yards at least?
And this
29,
is
29 passing
defense that the last month has been terrible against the run. I mean, it just 29 passing yards. What? I'm sorry. I'll say it again. There's no way Pete Carroll could return. There is absolutely no way. Can't happen. Seahawks, Colts, we covered it. Niners, Titans, it's the Walking Dead. The zombie Niners do it every week. They average like 3.3 a carry. It's not the McCaffrey, it's just they hand him the ball 800 times. If Kittle plays, the passing offense works. They got a bunch of receivers nobody knows. I mean, Ricky Pearsall's nothing but an idea. He's on a poster. Juwan Jennings 1 week, Scooter McDoodle the next. But here they are. They don't turn you over, but somehow they stop you. Look, they're enjoying a last place schedule. Is that fair?
Yes.
But they're going to continue to win. They get Phil Rivers next week. They're going to get to 11. They're going to make the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. So if you start slotting this in, you feel like Seattle, who won today, and San Francisco, who won today, are playoff teams.
Yeah.
There's one wild card spot.
It's still the Pack because they have the tie. The tie kills everything because now
it's the Pack or the Bears loser is that wild card. Yes.
Yes, because again, the tie with the Cowboys that they had, you have to be a full game better. It renders tiebreakers useless. Now, in the case of the Lions, who we'll get to momentarily, you lost twice, so that don't matter. But you had to be a game better anyways. But man, it's crazy. Kyle Shanahan, they have a system. They do a great job of player development. They do a great job with filling holes.
Yep.
It's truly remarkable. It is. All right, Panthers, Saints, here's the last note. That's every reason you can't be trusted. Think about it. The Bucs lose the other night. The Panthers now are in the driver's seat for the division. All you need to do is go and beat a 3-win Saint team. You're up 7 deep into the fourth quarter, and you can't close it out. You don't even get to overtime, and the Saints walk you off. It's just, this is why you cannot be taken seriously.
And I want it so bad for them, right? They beat the Rams. They won in Green Bay. Like this would have been a great story. They get 2 more against Tampa still. But, man, the golden opportunity right in your lap.
Yeah. I'll say it pocket-sized game manager. If that excites you, you keep Bryce Young. Canales has gotten all the toothpaste out of the tube. There's just nothing else. Your quarterback's 4 feet tall. He's limited. He can't really run a whole lot. He's just a pocket-sized game manager. I'm not interested in that. Now, if you just want to make the playoffs a bunch of times, you can insulate him in infrastructure. You play in a shit division. But I'm sorry, man. A real quarterback, you got to close that game out today. You got to find a way. All right, let's get a word about pizza, and then we get into the main dish, which is the Lions, which apparently the minute I said the word Lions, my lights blew up.
All right, listen. You're busy. You got a lot of things going on. Lord knows you're going to be cooking a lot for the holidays. Lean on Hungry Howies to get you dinner on the table in 30 minutes. No cleanup, no cooking,
and take advantage of their mix and match deal. You go, well, what the hell's a mix and match? It's very simple. It's everything on the menu, $7.49 each. You pair them all up to make a meal deal. And as I said, you get dinner on the table. I mean, it's snowing every day. It's 10 degrees out. You don't want to go to the grocery store. Opt out like most players do in bowl games and call Hungry Howies or go to hungryhowies.com and take advantage of that mix and match deal, $7.49 each, whether it's the salads, the baked subs, the pizzas, Howie bread, you name it. It's involved in the mix and match deal. $7.49 each, limited time only at hungryhowies.com.
All right, let's get to the Lions discussion here, brought to you by Moran Chevrolet. Jim, I want you to bat lead off. I want your raw take on this game. The 2-3 things that pop out to you as the Lions lose 41-34.
You want me to zoom out, or do you want to start with the game itself?
Brother, it's your show. I really like you taking the lead on this because you're so passionate about them, and you and I see the world differently a lot. So go ahead, let me see, and I'll react to it.
No, I between the two of us, I stick up for this team more than you do, and I really want it badly for this team, but there's no denying today was confirmation, certifiable proof that they're pretenders. And there's no room to debate that. I mean, if people want to argue in the comments, go ahead. Every time they play a defense, they lose. And look, today, the game was lost in the third quarter. -7 yards of offense in the third quarter. You saw what that turned into. You saw what it was at the half. I'm loving the start, right? You got 500 yards of offense between the two teams. But, Mike, you got to hold serve. You got to keep pace. And in the third quarter, Goff got sacked one time, right? And that was enough to unravel a couple drives there. And they couldn't keep up with Matthew Stafford. Stafford in the offense for LA score over 40 points. I'm sorry, you're just not winning that football game. This team is maybe a playoff team, but they're not a team that's going to do anything if they make it in. They are as pretender as it gets.
So there's a couple of things. I kept feeling just extreme deja vu. This felt like the NFC Championship game a couple of years ago. Now, you weren't up 17 at half, but there was this feeling of you have game control, you have the ball. The other team has no answers for what you're doing. And then all of a sudden, it's what you said. You have 3 straight drives, 3 and out. Colby Young with a sack. But overall, it just unraveled. And then this is where I come back to. No Kirby Joseph, no Brian Branch. Eventually, this Legion of Whom shit, you guys forget about it, right? It's the cream rises to the top. You're going to face a real team. And I mean, even today, the Lions got some breaks.
Yeah.
And they couldn't capitalize. And whether it was Devontae Adams dying mid-route, which could have either been a touchdown or a 50-yarder. I mean, he was wide open. Whether it was Nakua dropping a critical pass, Stafford with the brain-dead interception to Aiden. Dude, you've been in the league for 20 years. Turf it. It's a screen. There is no other read. What the hell are you doing? It just, the interior of the O-line will rear its ugly head. Jim, teams are really starting to take Jahmyr Gibbs away. They're just, because the super weapon, they don't have it no more. And you've just seen they've lost enough guys that it's taken them from being special to just find enough.
Think about this. A game where the Lions have a double-digit halftime lead. How many yards do you think they ran for?
Oh, Jesus. 70.
70 on the nose. 3.5 yards a carry.
Right hand to God. Total guess. I swear to you.
But that's a
Not
huge
that I get a prize.
That's the 24 Lions, the 23 Lions.
Yeah.
They bury a team when they get up double digits.
Yeah.
This Lions team ain't those Lions teams. And I don't know how many chances that I've given them or Lion fans have given them the benefit of the doubt, right? And all they've done is seesaw. Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss.
Yeah.
They'll beat a bad team in the Commanders or the Giants. They'll lose to the Eagles. They'll lose to the Packers at home on Thanksgiving. They'll lose to the LA Rams, even with a 10-point lead. You don't need to keep giving them the benefit of the doubt. When someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Yeah.
This team could still make the playoffs, right? I think the odds are still under 50%. And now they're
went down to
2 games
40.
back with 3 weeks to go. I'm not telling you that there's not a mathematical equation to get them in, but we can stop the they're just not that team anymore.
No, and injuries are a part of that. And the offseason was a part of it. Let's face it. I think they sealed some of their fate with what they didn't do in the offseason. And here's the other problem. And this is not a shot. So, do we need a warning label on this? This is not anti-Goff in any way, shape, or form. But in the absence of a Laporta or in the absence of Brian Branch or Kirby Joseph, You don't have a quarterback that's going to be capable of stepping up and doing what the Josh Allens of the world can do. He's not that guy. And that's not a sin. That doesn't mean he's bad. Jared Goff's very good.
Well, it's not even like he played a bad game today.
No, but there are moments in that game where he's a little off. Or certainly, here's the other problem. I don't want to trip people out with this. I hate having to hear about it. But in a game like this, if your quarterback had some wheels, might have helped a few things.
Oh boy, don't start that.
I'm not starting anything.
I know.
We're talking football. I like Goff. But yeah, Jim, my problem, it's what you said. They have not won back-to-back games since September 28th. I'm not going to blow smoke up their ass. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, what do you want me to say at this point? You want me to act like they're going to win out? I'm not doing it. They haven't shown on tape they're capable.
This was a show me spot.
100%. They had to have it.
If they win, this is a completely different conversation. If they win, you just beat the best team in their house, and they were halfway to doing it. Yeah, we'd start talking about getting hot at the right time, back-to-back winners, impressive win, go rattle off a couple more, and you're going to be as dangerous as anybody in the playoffs. Mike, I'm under no delusions with this football team at this point.
Do you have a problem with the field goals early?
I was a little surprised, and I had been saying dial it back because they hadn't been converting them. They don't have the personnel. But this game specifically reeked of, hey, it's going to be a shootout. You can't settle for field goals on the road. They missed the first one. But from that point on, they were pretty aggressive, no?
Yeah, no. I said Friday, like I would have deactivated both kickers. I'm just going all the time. Like, I just didn't see a scenario field goals are going to help you in this game. And it ended up being true because, I mean, you gave up 41.
Yeah, look, I mean, they couldn't stop a nosebleed. It's, like 500 yards of offense alone from the Rams. I mean, they ran for 150. Stafford threw for 350. Yeah, I mean, you can start blaming the defense missing the two safeties, but if you knew what kind of game it was going to be and you have a 10-point lead, you can't take the third quarter off and get outscored 17-0. It's a death sentence.
So how do you think it plays out? 3 games to go. You're going to take on Minnesota in Minnesota. You're going to take on the Bears on the road. How does it end? Do you think they
won't lose back-to-back because we know Dan Campbell team doesn't lose back-to-back. They'll beat Pittsburgh next week.
Okay. So do they win out? They go 2-1. How do you envision this? Do you think they're playing Chicago the last week of the season, winning you're in?
So some of this is I think Detroit should beat Pittsburgh and Minnesota, even though we watched the first meeting go south. But will Chicago not win the next 2 games of their own?
No, I think they are. That's
so. If they do, then Detroit's out, regardless of Week 18.
That's the problem.
So and again, just so we're understanding, Chicago will be dogs next week against the Packers, but the Packers just lost Micah Parsons. Chicago, even in the loss to Green Bay, had them down to the final possession in the red zone. If Chicago beats Green Bay to even the score, Chicago then has the Niners. And Mike, I don't know, coin flip, but if Chicago wins those 2 games, it doesn't matter what Detroit does the rest of the way.
Yeah, and I also, look, I know it sounds insane, but let's be clear. They already lost to Minnesota. They should have lost to the Giants.
Right.
But I have a hard time giving this team auto wins anymore. Yeah. Like they are flawed deeply. But yeah, I mean, dude, ASB was incredible today. I thought J-Mo had a really nice game. I'm not blaming him at all on the deep ball he dropped. That's an insanely difficult catch.
Yeah, the first half where you got both these guys as a bona fide 1-2 punch, you go, this is what defenses stay up at night because and they showed it with the all 22. The safeties are fucked, to use a football term.
I like that nuance.
There's no way, because if you want to play down on St. Brown, you're going to give those windows, and Goff had a beautiful touchdown to J-Mo. You can't win when those 2 guys are attacking the middle and deep parts of the field at the same time. The problem is Detroit had to be perfect today, and the offense is no longer constructed to be perfect.
All right, we get a word from the sponsor, get a question of the week, and then what I at least think is an interesting Sunday night game, but maybe I'm nuts. All right, let's get a word from Moran. We'll keep it moving. And that is the Red Tag sales event going on right now at Moran Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 selling Chevy dealer. Whether it's elevating your tailgate, unless you're a Spartan fan, you've just given up, or whether it's just hauling gear, they got you covered. 26 Silverado 4x4 crew cab. You can lease it, $199 a month, 0 due at signing. Silverado's perfect for hauling the big stuff. You need something a little more svelte, if you will. The Equinox LT, $199 a month with just $19.99 down. Moran, go to Moran Express. All your certified service, you get the free loaner as well, or stop by on Gratiot, just north of 15 Mile in Clinton Township. Moran Chevrolet,
where you always get the best price, period. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. All right, C4 Energy question of the week. We will get to Sean's question. And this is kind of a twofer. And I think it's interesting because I do think there's a possibility of this. Not the first part. Do you think Ragnow would want to return if Decker retires? See, I think the Decker thing is a thing, much like a couple years ago we talked about. Look, Decker's been hurt all year. He's a warrior, and his body is starting to betray him. I would not be shocked in the least if Decker walked away. But the Ragnow ship, that has sailed. I still, to this moment, do not understand how the team releases that nonsense on socials, and the guy comes in and he can't pass the physical because his hamstring is falling off the bone. But no, the Ragnow ship, to me, that has sailed. And if I'm the Lions, I'm not going back down that road.
Okay, so that second point's interesting. The first point, if it's a hammy, like if that's the only thing keeping this guy from playing pro football, he'll heal a hammy before next season. But the last thing you said, do you want to be held hostage? Because they already got caught being a year late on this offensive line stuff. Not that Ratledge is a bad player, but ideally he would be in year 2 right now, right? Yeah. And you'd be a year ahead on this stuff. Do you really want to bank on him or his word and coming back next year and playing all the games? I think that would be silly to do.
Same. And look,
now, I would love if he could cryogenically fix himself and be the player he once was.
Sure.
But I'm not banking on it if I'm the organization. And the Decker thing, now I'm sure you read locally, Free Press had the story about his contemplation and where he's at. He has said he could play another 5 years, but it's trade-offs. As he gets older,
that's right,
sacrifice for his family. And he said, and I thought this was a really interesting perspective. He's like, a lot of guys will say, I got to work to feed my family. But who are we kidding? I've made enough money that's not
right.
That's not the math here. My family's going to eat. We're going to pay our bills. The lights are going to stay on.
You want to be able to play with your kids. Do you want to remember their names at age 58? Like there's a cost to this.
I can't pick up my kids without being in pain. I can't reach something on the top shelf. Now, some of that is he doesn't have the offseason to heal, but maybe he guts out one more year. But that's how I read that, is maybe one more year for Decker.
And that's my point too, is look, you drafted Manu. There was a reason. And this is the other thing people don't realize. A lot of these surgeries aren't even reported on. Guys go home for the holidays. You forget they exist. You've moved on to NHL or NBA season. Meanwhile, that guy's getting 3 procedures over the next 90 days. And that's every offseason. That shit gets old.
Look, Jansen has said it in the morning. He goes, there's the season, the off season, and surgery season. It's a whole season for football players where you got to go into under the knife and in the lab and fix your body.
All right, word from C4. Brief note on Sunday Night Football. Go ahead, Ev.
If you have a question for us, get to a participating 7-Eleven and look for the QR code at the C4 Energy display or on the cooler. Scan the QR code and ask the question. For a list of participating 7-Eleven, find the list and contest details at 971theticket.com. C4 Energy is the energy drink you need. 200 milligrams of good caffeine in the performance, or 300 in the ultimate energy. And C4, it's not your traditional energy drink. It's next level, sugar-free, made for athletes. They don't fill it with junk. And C4 just rolled out their Jim Costa approved Jolly Rancher flavors, and they study everything. And a bunch of things I can't pronounce are in it, but it's all good. C4 Performance Energy or the Ultimate Energy at 7-Eleven. And remember, if you got a question, get to a 7-Eleven, find the QR code at the C4 Energy display today.
Okay, Jimmy, Crocodile Cloth, Cowboys laying 5.5 to the Vikings. I might be nuts. I like the Vikings. I'm banking on Flores against an awful pass protection unit. Dak is top 3 in getting pressured. I'm banking on that defense to make his life difficult. Yes, CeeDee Lamb is cleared to play. No, George Pickens has not been cleared to try. I don't know what I'm getting there. And let's face it, that Cowboy D is no good. Can 9, as he fancies himself, be functional? If I get functional JJ, they should keep this within the number.
I was going to ask you, you're saying to cover or win?
Cover.
Okay.
Good teams win. Great teams cover. Cover.
You know what? I want to go head to head with you. I feel like we haven't done that enough. I'll take the Dallas side. Here's the deal with Dallas. They are somehow still alive, even though they lost to Detroit because the Eagles dropped a game that same weekend. They feel like they're in the fight. They're still alive. Extra prep time. Can JJ really exploit the Cowboy defense? I got to see it.
Functional. Just, how about this? Don't show your ass. That's his mission tonight. Just be functional and lose 24-20, and we'll call it a day.
You know Dallas is good for 30 a week.
But this is Flores against a god-awful pass protection unit. God, I'm going to lose this game, Dean. It's going to kill me. All right, listen, crocodile cloth, and then we'll get people to their Sunday night.
As always, the preview is brought to you by Crocodile Cloth. It's your do-it-all solution for life's toughest messes. They've introduced Crocodile Cloth Grill, and that's what we wanted to talk about on the show. It's what you need if you love grilling. If you're going 365, you're going to want to pick this up. If not, stock up for when the weather gets nicer. These Crocodile Cloth grill cloths are the perfect addition to your game day tailgates, backyard grilling projects, all of it. Crocodile Cloths, grill cloths are made for grillers and the outdoor entertainers. They're tough cloths. They're big, 10-inch by 15-inch. They stay wet a long time, and they're going to power through sticky baked-on grease and food. Crocodile Cloth Grill can clean your cooler, your outdoor furniture, and everything that gets messy at the tailgate. So go to crocodilecloth.com/football show for a tailgate bundle and a free gift. As they say at Crocodile Cloth, go ahead, get messy.
All right, guys, and we will have all the bowl previews, all the college football stuff. Jim and I will be hard at work this week. We'll have a mega pod episode, get you set. We're going to break them. What do we got, Jimmy? 4 of them? We're going to do 4 tapings?
Yeah, for the next 4 weeks, we're going to have bowl batches. Remember the bowl batches? They're coming back. The first batch will be this week.
Okay, we'll get that taken care of. And obviously, if you're local, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow about the Lions. That's it. That's Football Show. We appreciate you guys. I can't believe, Jimmy, what are we, 3 of these left?
You know, it's flying by, man.
It is. We're getting old. That happens. You're going to blink. You'll be 45 like me. It'll be tremendous. All right, that's the Football Show. That's the Football Show. We'll talk to you guys later.